Welcome back to the weekend wrap. No production, just my thoughts. Okay, so what's my main takeaway from the boxer card that occurred last night? My main takeaway is now I know why I never buy the cheap seats in a venue. Now, first and foremost, the OVO seats about 13,000. The entire top section was topped off, and of the rest of it, there may have been about, I reckon there's about 2,000 in there overall. Potentially, like, you could see a lot of the spaces between seats in and around the different areas, and some people clearly like came for one person that was on the undercard and then subsequently left. I saw that quite a few times where I was at. Brad Paul had quite a big conglomerate of people, congregation maybe, and then as soon as he left, a lot of them left as well, which meant there was a lot of seats and rows just opened up. But another reason why I never buy the cheap seats, and it's not even to be snobbish, it's just that you get people that literally, they either don't care about the action or they care too much. So I was there with a couple of my friends, one of them who's never been to an event before. So I said I'll take her and her other friend, and we all kind of went together. We all know each other long time from years gone by. Now, in our section, all you had is a couple people just drunk, which, okay, you understand that, but just wanting to talk to you when you're trying to watch the action, you're like, go away, please. To the point where obviously at one point you start feeling like you want to get aggressive, but you tone it down because you're not out for that. Now, one of my friends, while I know she's got a temper, I've never seen it myself. Oh, I saw it last night. To the point where it's like, okay, I didn't really want to see this day come, but like, since we're here, let's see where this goes. There was this other girl in the back row behind us with her fiance and her brother, these other two drunk guys, and then throughout the entire night, all they're doing is talking and yelling, and the girl's talking about how she loves to see the sight of blood on faces and busted noses and brains and teeth, but she doesn't like if it's on the arm or like on the leg, and like how she wants to box but she doesn't want to do bare knuckle because like she doesn't want to get bloodied herself, but she wants to make someone else. We're just watching, we're listening to this, obviously, while trying to watch, and we can't really move because the last thing we want to do is like go to a different set of seats and then someone comes and says, sorry, you're in our seats. It's like, okay, so we had to stick where we were. And yeah, it was just one of those times where I got one of my friends literally grabbing my arm saying, please don't react to what's going on behind us. And then the other friend is throwing out bad word left, right and center, like with the sour face, you know. It's just like, okay, yeah, this could go left at any point. And bear in mind, even though I knew people that were there, shout out to Danny from Fight Fan TV. He was doing security right by ringside, so I see him. I didn't get a chance to hail him up afterwards because by the time that shit finished, yeah, they was ready to go. They wanted food, they was hungry, so they was extra agitated because they was hungry, and it was getting mad late, responsibilities or whatnot. So I was actually asked if I could go backstage and see a couple of people. I was like, yeah, it's too late, I got to drop these lot home. I didn't even end up getting home till after 2. So yeah, and that's all before I even talk about the action that took place. Now, I'm gonna quickly summarize this, okay? I said before, and I'm going to stick with it, it was a mistake having a 7-0 prospect headlining at the OVO. There's absolutely no reason to spend that kind of money. The Copper Box would have been fine. York Hall probably would have been even better, because it would have been every single seat, every single standing part of the just packed out. Would have been a more raucous crowd. That being said, Adam Azim, he is destined to be like one of the top guys in Britain. Now, that's not to necessarily say that he'll be one of the best, but he does have a good following. They do seem to come out for him. Like, there was definitely a lot of slough in the building. I did see quite a big conglomerate there for him. In terms of his performance in the main event, I mean, look, it started off really well. He rocked Santos Reyes in the second round, actually dropped him. Obviously tried to go for the finish, but I did say in the basis picks, look, I've found out that Santos Reyes was Nicaraguan, I was instantly thinking this was not going to be a quick job. 12-0. The only thing I didn't think he would be able to do is really do any particular damage to Adam Azim, just because, yeah, he 12-0 with 3 KOs, 25% KO ratio. So even if he's got a decent punch, it's probably not enough that's going to get him in trouble, because Adam's not really going to be there to just take flush shots all night. So yeah, with regards to that, I thought, okay, he did well. Like the left, I felt like he was just looking for that left hook all night, and there were certain times he was literally just coiling himself into a position waiting for Reyes to strike, and then boom, he just unload the left. He missed it quite a bit, but he also landed it off several times as well. But Reyes got a chin, tough, durable, and the word competitive is probably the wrong word to use right now, but if I'm totally honest, I'm still a bit tired and a bit agitated, so that's just the word we're going to go with. But this was probably the most one-sided competitive fight I've ever watched, because Reyes didn't stop trying. He didn't back away, he didn't run, he kept trying to come forward and kept trying to make a go of it, but Azim was just basically too fast for him. Stronger, taller. Like they build Reyes as being 5'10", but if Adam Azim's 5'10", then Reyes is closer to 5'6", 5'6", 5'7", because their height was not comparable at all. It looked like Azim hurt his right hand in the last couple of rounds, because he was literally just throwing the left. Everything, even power shots were coming from the left, with maybe odd occasion throwing that right out. So I'm not sure if that happened. Obviously look for that at a later date. But that was a decent enough fight. I was very, very, very disappointed with Anthony Sims in the Zach Chelly fight. Now look, I spoke big about Anthony Sims prior to that. I've seen quite a few of his fights. He didn't look anywhere as slick as he usually does, anywhere as rhythmic. He was not letting shots go. I didn't know prior to this. I mean, I don't know if he had an injury, because he had that knee brace on. I've not seen him wear a knee brace prior to that fight, so I don't know if something had happened there, but I'm not giving him any excuses. It was a very, very poor performance, or he's regressed a lot since the last time I watched one of his fights, which was, I saw him fight last year over in America, and that fight he looked pretty good. Was it a size issue? Was Zach Chelly just too big? And he just, he's just too big for him? I don't know. He had a couple of really good moments. Like the second round was a good round for him, and the 8th round obviously was a great round. There was, I think the 5th was a round where I had him winning up until right towards the end, where he just got caught with a couple of eye-catching shots, which seems to have none of the shots looked like they hurt him. He didn't look rocked by anything, but just the fact that this guy is throwing big shots and they're connecting, like he's taking the round away. And there was a couple rounds like that where, Sims looks like he's about to get in the groove, and then 2 or 3 big shots just basically just take the entire momentum away from him. But That being said, I gotta give credit to Zach Chelli because I rubbished his chances prior to this fight. I just didn't think he was skilled enough. I thought he was too crude and that he would load up on shots and keep his head on line to get countered. But Sims just couldn't counter him, couldn't do anything with him. So big up to Zach Chelli. The only fight I actually think that we were thoroughly entertained with all night was Vidal Riley versus Anis Taj, which finished at the end of the third round due to a very bad cut. Now, I didn't see the shot that landed from my vantage point because unfortunately where I was seated was right behind where the cranes were, you know, that would give you the shots of the crowd and the overhead shots of the action. So, you know, even though I had a good enough viewpoint, I didn't have the greatest of viewpoint. So yeah, there was a lot of action that I missed, but I caught a lot of the shots that were landing, and that was just like the most action-packed fight that we saw. We got there I think it was after Caroline Dubois, so I'm gonna have to watch that back on YouTube. I haven't seen that one yet, but we got there just before the Tyler Denny and Brad Paul's fight, which again, it was a nice fight, but very scrappy. There's a lot of holding in there. But it was, you know, I did predict that Tyler Denny would eke out, although I said I think it would be a closer fight on the scorecards than it actually ended up being. I had it a little bit closer than what the judges did, but again, from my vantage point, I'm not I'm not going to dispute that. But yeah, I did think Tyler Denny would win that. So the only prediction I got wrong was Sims and Chelli. I did think Sims would win. I'm assuming Caroline Dubois stopped her opponent. Again, I haven't seen, so you can let me know in the comments and I'll get back around to that. And yeah, I can't remember if I said that Adam Azim will go points or will get a late stoppage, but I know I said it will definitely go rounds. I never predicted it would go all 10, but I'm sure I didn't, but you know, just in case I did, I mean, the videos are there. You can go fact check me and put it in the comments. I can't bother to watch my own work back at the moment. But yeah, overall, in terms of a card, it was an okay card, but I'm gonna give the exact same energy to Eddie Hearn and the Cyrus Pattinson card that I think is is that Newcastle is that the 18th of March? Whereas Pattinson against Jenkins, and Pattinson's a 5-0 guy. A 7-0 guy and a 5-0 guy should not be headlining your major cards. Like, if they're headlining like a next gen on a Wednesday or a Thursday or something like that, cool. That makes sense. But these guys who are still learning their craft, they don't need to be the main event. Like, I think you shouldn't really be in the main event of the card unless you're obviously like this mad Olympian that's fighting for a world title or something. You shouldn't be headlining until you're at least like 10, 11, 12 and 0. Because by then it's like, okay, you've kind of got your rhythm. You pretty much know what type of fighter you are by that point. That's maybe just my little bias, and maybe I'm totally wrong on that. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think he should be headlining just yet. I think he should still be just working his way up the rankings and just building that natural following. But definitely he shouldn't be headlining in the OVO or the O2 or any arena that can hold more than like 7,000 people. Because again, it just looks bad when there's just rows and rows of seats that are empty or loads of space in between. And you can use camera angles and everything to try and mask it, but like, people who know, and especially when you've got people on the undercard that bring a huge following with them, because as soon as that person's done fighting, yeah, they're out. And that's something I saw. Also, this is one quickly for Sky and all the broadcasters, but Sky, BT, all of them. You gotta do better with your timing of these events. Like, there's absolutely no reason this event should have started at 8 o'clock and then had 5 fights on the main card. And then if those fights run early, you don't need to fill out time, because it got to about 11:15. I think the fight started at like 10-2, 5-2, something like that. This is just a real quick one before I bounce. By about 11:10, I heard some people around like, oh, should we go? Like, we got to catch that last train, or we got to catch that tube or whatever, so it doesn't take, you know, an extra, or should we, you know, do you think we need to get a cab or an Uber? Like, what do you reckon, kind of thing. And people were literally getting up and walking out from like the end of the second round, and it was a pretty good fight, but it just started way too late. And you got to respect that not everyone drives. I mean, I was calm. I could have stayed there till 1-2 o'clock in the morning, and just outside of pure tiredness, like, I still would have made it home fine. But, you know, being the fact that this guy's from Slough, so, you know, okay, a lot of his people's going to be kind of on the west side, it might be a little easier for them to get back. But then you got people there from like the east side of the city, south side, like myself, you know, maybe north. Some people maybe outside of London. Like, these people got to get home. Like, you just got to work. You got to figure out these timings a lot better. Like, it's just, yeah, it's not great. And yeah, as I said the last time, I did this one because obviously I wanted my friend to experience this, like, for their birthday. But I will not be going back to the OVO. Like, I'm not going to say under no circumstances whatsoever, but it's going to take something special for me to do that cross-city travel again. Because it just takes way too... Coming back is not too bad, because obviously the roads are clear. But going there, it's just long. It's like it's a 2 hour journey, especially if you got to pick up people as well. And then coming back is at least an hour 15 if you're dropping people, or maybe 45 minutes if it's just me one doing what I do. But yeah, it's not again. So I'm gonna go Copper Box. I'm gonna go O2. If I'm outside the city, then I'll go outside the city. York Hall, fine. Anything on the west side, north side, yeah, I'm done. But anyway, look, that's my thoughts of the weekend. And again, whether I sound snobbish or not, I don't care. No more cheap seats. Like, you would assume that the people, yeah, you get, don't get me wrong, you get crofts, you get idiots everywhere in an arena, sorry. But at least the people who paid the majority of the money are looking to just focus on the fights and have a good time. They want their money's worth. Yeah. When it's the cheapest or like the most inexpensive, that's where the trouble happens. And that's not even counting the amount of people that ended up falling and slipping down the stairs because they was mad drunk and couldn't walk in heels or whatever. But, you know, that was just more entertaining than anything else. Although you're a bit concerned that they're all right at the end of it. But yeah, overall, like, that's my thoughts. It wasn't a great night, but it wasn't a terrible one either. But yeah, I've learnt my lesson, and never again. But anyway, new videos will be dropping throughout the week. Probably first one will be on Wednesday. We'll see what happens between now and then for me to chat about. But otherwise, that's the weekend wrapped up for me. I haven't seen Vosdik yet, but I will be making mention of that in any new video that I do put out. And yeah, apologies if this is just a bit of a long one, but there was no time to condense it down. Anyway, it's weekend wrapped up. Chat to you on the next one. Peace.